Hey guys, Giggity back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down the MLB main slate for today. It was originally a 9-game slate, but it's no longer a 9-game slate. Sorry, I'm trying to get something up on my computer because my internet just went out for a couple of seconds, so refixing that so I can get all the prices for the pitchers. But this once was a 9-game slate, now down to 7, could be down to 5 by the end of the night. So go ahead and jump, before we jump into the video completely, go ahead and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do everything with the channel, try to help grow it. Trying to hit 3K subscribers again, so hopefully you can get there soon. Also, if you guys have not checked them out already, go ahead and check out tilteddfs.com. They have a bunch of high-quality free articles for CSGO, MLB, NBA, NFL, PGA, UFC, and hockey coming soon. So go ahead and try to check that out. We appreciate all the support you're giving to the site. And just get this set up so that we can get all the pictures. We had so far 2 cancellations today, which include the Baltimore and Miami game, and then the Yankee and Philadelphia game. Miami had 8 players and 2 coaches that got tested positive for COVID-19. So that game got canceled just because of how many people managed to get up that high, got COVID and everything. That game was canceled. And then Philadelphia and the Yankees got canceled as well because the Philadelphia Phillies were just playing in Miami and they wanted to take as many safety precautions as possible. So we get two games canceled today in terms of the 9-game slate. That's now 7. And then potentially, the Chicago Cubs-Cincinnati game and the Chicago White Sox-Cleveland game could get canceled tonight. Ohio is supposed to get pounded with rain, so this slate could be very down to a 5-game slate. In that case, it's going to look awfully shitty in terms of pitching. The pitching is already pretty thin as it is. I have a couple of picks, but pitching is not looking good today at all. We'll start off with the Toronto at Washington. Toronto is throwing out... They don't have a starting pitcher for Toronto yet? You know why? Because we're going to skip this game totally because it's not even part of the main slate. Main slate starts at... Really? I thought it started... Alright, apparently I was wrong. This game's not a part of the slate. First game of the slate is the Atlanta Braves and the Tampa Bay Rays. How did I miss that? I was doing research on it. I thought I saw them in the player pool. I guess not. Well, once my computer decides to work, we'll go ahead and jump to the Atlanta and Tampa Bay game. Which, for this one, you have the most expensive pitcher, Mike Fultonevich. That doesn't prove how bad pitching is today. He is 10-3. Tyler Glasnow, 8,900. I'm a fan of Tyler Glasnow for this game. Obviously, keep an eye on Tampa Bay's beat writers and stuff. He could definitely. They were saying how he could definitely go 5+ innings. There's also a case where he doesn't have a shot at a win. So keep that in mind. But for this one, he does strike out about 33% of his batters. He walks about 6%, has a high ground ball rate, high line drive rate. His fly ball rate is not as high, so you don't have to worry about home runs as much as other pitchers that have probably fly ball rates in the 50 to 60%. You're going to get a lot of ground balls, meaning if anybody gets on, he's going to have a decent shot at double plays, get out of innings that way. But he is a decent play. On the other side, Atlanta Braves hitters are... if it ends up being a 5-game slate where this is one of them, I probably will fade the Atlanta hitting because I think that they're going to be probably the chalkiest hitting on the slate just because of what they did last night to the Mets, recency bias, and they're going up against Glasnow, which obviously has a chance of not going at least 5 innings. So a lot of people are going to be aiming towards the Atlanta hitters. I have a feeling that Acuna, Albies, Freeman, Ozuna are all going to be at least 10% owned, especially in a 5-game slate. So I'd rather try to leverage the field and get elsewhere, which honestly elsewhere might be going to the Tampa Bay bats against Mike Foltynewicz. Foltynewicz is probably going to get a lot of ownership tonight just because there's really nothing else for pitching. And I'm all right with going against him as a contrarian pick going for the Tampa Bay. Choi has a decent ISO against righties. Lowe has a decent ISO. Diaz is okay. Chizuko is all right. Wendell is all right. I think that they're going to be lower owned today just because Foltynewicz is going to be the most expensive pitcher, so they're thinking, maybe I probably shouldn't go against that. So maybe some leverage there if you wanted to try to get on the field, leverage on the field there. I don't mind going to the Tampa Bay Bats today. Moving on to the Chicago and Cincinnati game. This one has a shot of getting rained out today, so just play this with caution. Lester is on pitching matchup. Lester is the 4th most expensive pitcher at $9,200 for the Chicago Cubs, and Cincinnati is going to be throwing out Wade Miley at $6K, which could be a decent value play for today. But in that case, John Lester, $8,900. He's an all right play, but on a slate that has a bunch of all right plays, nothing crazy. He's probably going to be a decent option. And then on the flip side, going for the Cincinnati hitters, I don't mind that either. Irvin has a decent ISO against lefties. Votto does not because he's a lefty himself. So if you wanted to fade somebody on the Reds, don't go to Votto. Suarez and Castellanos are decent options. I do like getting to them as well. Cincinnati hitters are definitely going to be a way to go if you want to try to also gain leverage on the field there. I don't feel like Cincinnati is going to be super high owned just because they have not shown that they should be high owned yet. On the other side, Chicago, they're going to be pretty chalky, but I do really like the stack. Wade Miley is an okay value option. He strikes out a little bit less than 20% of his batters that he faces. I'm all right with. I'm going to be getting to some Chicago today. Chris Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, Contreras, and Caratini are probably going to be my main stack today. Probably just eat the chalk on that one. I do feel like they're going to be a really good stack today, especially going up against Wade Miley, who is not one of the higher pitchers on the slate. So I'd rather get to Chicago over Cincinnati in this one, but Cincinnati would be a decent leverage spot if you wanted to get leverage there. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. I feel like this one could be another good one for batting. For pitching today, Pittsburgh, you're going to get Hauser for Milwaukee at $8,300, which is a halfway okay option. And then you're going to get Brault. Rats are running around the room and grabbing their treats. And then you're going to get Brault at $4,300, which could be honestly, a really, really nice value play today. If you think that Pittsburgh's going to win and Brown's going to have a decent game, I feel like all he has to do is go about 5 innings and he'll be able to pay off his price tag, and you might be able to get to some more expensive stacks. On the other side, I do like the Milwaukee hitting. I do like Pittsburgh hitting as well, but I like Milwaukee hitting in this one. Christian Yelich, I really like getting to. Braun, I like getting to. Smoke, I want to get to. Garcia, I want to get to. I don't mind going to the Milwaukee way for hitters. On the flip side, Pittsburgh hitters, if it will load, I don't mind getting to as well, except for I'd rather get to Hauser in more of my lineups than to Pittsburgh hitting. Hauser strikes out a quarter of his batters, has a higher walk rate, but he has a high ground ball rate, which will ultimately not really hurt him that much. If you wanted to get to some Pittsburgh stacks, I feel like they're going to be low owned. They're pretty cheap. Going up against Milwaukee. Yeah, stop. Going up against Milwaukee, definitely a halfway decent option for a leverage spot on today's slate. I feel like I'm picking out I feel like I'm not Xing out any of these. Yankee game got canceled. Baltimore game got canceled. On to Seattle and Houston, which are going to be playing their fourth and final games today. And it's kind of hard for me not to really, really like the Houston Bats today. Going up against Graveman, who has not made a major league start at $4,900. And Houston will be throwing out Josh James, which is actually another halfway decent play today for pitching. I don't mind getting to Josh James. He's probably one of the better pitchers on the slate because he's going up against Seattle. So Springer, Altuve, Bregman, Brownlee, you can't really go wrong going to Houston. They're going to be really, really chalky, especially if this goes down to a 5-game slate. But at this point, I think I would want to eat the chalk here and try to get different elsewhere. Houston is probably the best stack on the slate tonight, and it's kind of hard to not see me get there. I'm probably going to be running one lineup, and it's probably going to have Houston in it, just because it's hard to go against them. They're going to be 15 to 20% owned each, but they're going up against Seattle, who is not a good team, and going up against Graveman, who's making his major league debut, major league debut today. So I don't see myself getting to him. But anyways, moving on to the next one, because you already know that Houston, no Seattle today, and move on. Seattle's not even a decent leverage spot because I don't like them. Ready for the battle of the shit teams. Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers. Gross. Kansas City is probably the better team in this one. Not by much, but Kansas City is the better team. Matt Montgomery is 6,500. And you have to get to him. I feel like he's going to have a decent game. I'm not getting to any Detroit hitters. They're just, even against Matt Montgomery, I'd rather get to Montgomery than any of the Detroit Tiger hitters. And he's 6,500, so it's a decent value play to go after. And with no pitching on the slate, taking a guy that's going up against Detroit's a pretty safe move. And if you want it to be that way the same way, no, you're not really going to want to get too many pitchers from Detroit, because Detroit has Fulmer going as an opener and then Soto as a long relief. So I'm going to get to some Kansas City as well today. I think an ideal stack for me will be Kansas City and Houston, and it's going to suck to have to get to that. But that's probably the way I'm going to aim, and it's kind of hard to go away from Merrifield and Mondesi and Soler and Perez going up against a horrible Tigers bullpen, a horrible Tigers team in general, who let up a lot of stuff. So Kansas City is probably the way to go on this one. But honestly, with these two shit teams, anything is possible. So let's move on from that crappy show. Chicago and Cleveland, if this game goes on. Sorry, when I was judging the other teams, I was saying that this game was not going to go on. If this game does go on, I'm game stacking this one. Just because I feel like it could be decent leverage. Savall is the second highest, most expensive player on the slate for Cleveland. And then Ceased is the third highest, 97, 9,400. Except for I like the bats a lot more in this one. If this game does go on, I'm getting a lot of bats because I'm going to try to gain leverage on the field by going not after two of the most expensive pitchers on the slate, which I have a feeling are going to be halfway decently owned. I don't mind getting to either side of this. Anderson, Moncada, Abreu, Grandal, Encarnacion. Honestly, I would really like to get to a game stack of this one. I really hope this game goes on. Really like Chicago side. I really like the Cleveland side. Hernandez. I really like Ramirez, Lindor, Santana, and Reyes. Going after this game is going to be really, really nice for me if this game does go on. This is probably my favorite game to play today. Obviously, hopefully it plays out and rain doesn't get to it. Last game of the slate. You're going to get the New York Mets at the Boston Red Sox. Mets just got absolute butt whooped last night from Atlanta. Not even pretty. Now we got Michael Wacha going on the mound. I'm not getting to Wacha. I'm not getting to Boston bats either. Boston's going to be another fade for me today. I'm probably never going to go to Boston stacks, and I'll live and die with Boston hopefully being horrible. But if you do want to go to Boston stacks, Denny's all right. Martinez is all right. Devers, good option. Bogart's hard to go against it. And honestly, it's probably a decent spot to go, but I have a feeling they're going to be pretty chalky going up against Michael Wacha, who has not proved himself as a decent pitcher yet for the Mets. On the other side, Mets pitchers going up against Godfrey, which Godfrey is Godfrey's going to be a long reliever. Osich is going to be the starter. So honestly, going to Mets today is not a bad option, just because the Red Sox are going to be playing a bullpen game, which doesn't always have the best effect. I don't mind getting to McNeil. I don't mind getting to Alonso, Conforto, Cespedes. All of them are pretty solid choices today, and they're not really super expensive. Alonso is 5,600, which is the most expensive Met. And then for outfield, where are we getting Cespedes? Conforto is 5K. Cespedes is still JD Martinez is 4,400. Cespedes at 4,300 is a really, really solid play today as a one-off. Cespedes, gotta get to him. He's just not. He's at 4,300. He's probably gonna be pretty chalky, but I'm alright with getting to that one. But that'll pretty much do it for the slate. Obviously, keep an eye on the news for the Cincinnati game and the two Chicago games in general. Make sure that they're going on before playing. But good luck to you guys on this really, really weird, horrible pitching slate. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go check out the Tilted DFS website, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Good luck, guys.